All right, just a quick update to glue with these accursed solo wars, and been practicing Dawn of Battle system, and after doing two Lectra battles, now going to play battle that occurred earlier on in history, just to have a mixed, bigger mix of troops, and have the ones that can move and shoot and all that. And we are fighting the Battle of Karkar, which is Assyria versus Damascus, and it's been on 853 before Christ, or if you are very modern, before the classical era. So basically the Assyrians deployed, so pretty much in a very long line. So there's no specifics. The counters can be used in multiple eras. They're just generic representations, and the generals as well. So here, for example, we have 3 generals that will be used by Damascus city-state. So we have one with the laurels. He has one command rating of 1, and the command range and the combat. And basically there's also an army morale, which is the sum of the command rating. So this is 2, and Assyrians have a general. We can look at them. The Assyrians have a general with a 2, and the other 2s are with 0s. So what it means several things. One of them is that we can start with cards. With the army morale is the sum of the command rating, so army morale 2. We can start with 2 events. For in this example, we have a follow me, which we can discard and then add temporarily 1 general with a sword without laurels, so it doesn't give any special attributes to lead our forces. On this one, for example, is bad going. We discard the card and reduce all enemy units' movement rate by half for the current activation. In the same way, and I find this system will fit the Imaginations campaign perfectly. It's not based in history, so we can do whatever we want. So in this case, we got a fatigue, which is discarded to decrease units melee result by 2. This is good to play on the enemy. And we have the Ex Machina, which is quite a special card. Quite a good draw. Now the sequence begins with, we take our leaders out, so our command rating, our sum of command ratings is 2. Same with the Assyrians, it's a 2. So the Assyrians receive 2 action points, and we have 2 for each, right? And then each side draws a card and checks on the top, command plus 2. So we gain 2 more action points. If you ever played any war game that uses command cheats, variable amounts, this is no different. It's just a different way of checking how many. And for for Damascus is +1. And the cards go to the discard pile. Now on the turn track, we are turn 1, and we don't know who has the initiative, right? So it could be the Assyrians, could be and the way we do that is also by cards, because the cards have a die roll. You can use dice, but the cards have a die. So the Assyrians scrambled the 2, and Damascus rolled a 4. So technically, the Damascene have the initiative, but there's also the Assyrians can attempt to contest that initiative. The Assyrians can spend, for example, 1 AP to gain to themselves to steal the initiative, and then we could spend 1 AP and steal the initiative ourselves. You see, you can steal the initiative as you wish, but in this case, the Assyrians arrived at the field. They will spend 1 AP and steal the initiative, which is okay for Damascus. So they will say, sure, you can spend your AP. The initiative goes to the tracker, because okay, our army is, no, this is for the victory point, sorry. Okay, so on the initiative, turn 1 has been for the red, because then it will subtract from the rolls. So once, if we have 6, which is, well, 5 turns on a row with initiative, we subtract 5 from the roll. So it will balance out. So these ones go for the discard pile, and you can start. Now we have to select where to place our generals. Usually if you are playing 2-player, you will place your generals standing up with the values turned to you, but we will be playing this in the Accursed Soul of War so we can see. And we will be rolling for the quality of the general, so everything will be generated, is not fairy tale. So we could use, actually, because we want to start the battle, the follow me and create one more leader, but we will not do that. So we will make the best leader we have. Okay, he has a rating of 2, and his command range is 2. We have 2 with command range of 2. So if we place him, for example, here, he would command a formation that is on the 2. So basically, we're going to place him right in the middle of our line. So we have chariots and light cavalry and mounted archers, and as the line progresses from the left to the right, we have heavy archers, medium infantry, a lot of it, and the other side is just mirrored. So what will happen here is I'm going to place the 1, 2. This one will go with the chariots, and the other general will also go with the chariots. So here we have a command rating of 0, but a range of 1 and combat of 1. We have our main general, usually, and up to 1600s, the kings and leaders of nations and city-states would actually lead the army. So, and there we also have a commander. Now, Damascus has had there wasn't a historical deployment for it. Let me just roll this. There wasn't, how do you say, that camera, sufficient historical evidence of how they deployed. So basically I decided to make a strong full horse right flank with support with our medium infantry immediately, and then a mix of the light infantry and the light archers and some camel cavalry on the left flank. So very unbalanced deployment, and now we have to place our generals. So what we have here, we have our glorious leader has a range of 2. It's not, yeah. And what we'll do, you will be leading there, our foot troops, with our other general with command range of 2, leading all the horse. It doesn't mean that he's leading the horse. He's leading the troops that are in range that I want to be part of the formation. And for the 1-to-1, I will want him with the archers. Complexity of command decisions comes with the formations as soon as things start to happen. So initiative is on the Assyrian side. So they are the ones that will start using action points. Right, and as we saw, they still had 3 action points to do. Now they can use an action point immediately to activate, and then activate the formation, which can be, where's my pencil? So he has a command range of 2, so it can be this unit, that unit. So anything in a range of 2 that doesn't have any interference of terrain or enemy troops. So it has either to be open ground or a sequence of friendly units. So in this case, we are going to spend that AP and move this entire formation. So we're going to move his own unit where he is, this 2, the mobile missile, this medium infantry, this medium infantry. So let's move them. All right, we moved all the units and we marked them as pretty much they've been activated, so we don't do double activations. Well, it can be done with certain troops, but not now. Because what happens is one can move a general to activate another formation, and it comes close to our troops, and yeah, then we don't know which one's activated. Regarding the movement, and now we will check that and see firsthand how it works. So if you see, it's hexagons, but the units are always pointing at the vertex. They never point at the face. For example, this unit has a 6 of movement, right? This one has a 4. Let's use the chariot. So every time they move forward, and this is the front, this is the axis to the side are the flanks, and the 2 behind are the back, are the rear. So it also affects the way it is attacked. So they can move forward 1, right? Or and then they can go and turn to one side. Now, the way they go determines which side they can turn for free. So, for example, I come to this side, I can make a rotation to the right because I came to a right oblique, and then I can turn for free. I could come here and turn there, but I do have to pay one movement. I can come here, and the same way, turning to the left, I pay nothing, but I can move here, and if I wanted to turn the other way, I would have to pay one. So, pretty simple. And we have light cavalry with 6 movement. We have the chariots with 4. We have mounted archers with 6, and these little numbers in the corner means they are shooters. If you see, the light cavalry has none. The one in the corner here, in the red, it's missile defense. The first number is combat value. There's a tiny number. Above here, it's just a graphical representation of the number of the counter in the counter sheet, so it doesn't really is of particular interest. So I'll move this and we'll see what happens. All right, there's how everything ended. I forgot to mention something. Oh, I think it's out of focus. There's no stacking. Units can pass, depending on their types, through each other, but each position can only have one combat unit. All right. These ones are activated as well. So just to make sure, we put some, that we don't forget that they have been activated, we put some yellow blocks on it. So let's check. Oh, I made a mistake. And you know what? I'm going to revert everything. And why did I make a mistake? Because the Assyrians used the command, an action point, right? So they couldn't immediately take another action point. It's the blues, the Damascus time to use an action point. So it goes back and forth. There we go. We're going to use our action point, and given we have a range of 2, we can activate ourselves. We can activate exactly where our general is, up to this chariot, to this chariot, and to that light infantry. But that light infantry will be part of the formation of our main general. So we'll just take control of all this cavalry. So let's move them forward. And yeah, we did spend this one. So as I explained before, if I move on our right, I can turn without paying anything. If I move there and try to turn to the reverse side, I pay 1. So this would be a 2 movement point cost, and this one would be just 1. So I'll move the entire formation of the Damascus and we'll see how it is. All right, pretty much that's how it ended. It's a bit of a... They are still reforming. We had a chariot formation there that couldn't really position themselves, but it is what it is. So here we have it. We have all our formation here was activated. So we're going to mark it. All right. And now it's back to the Assyrians, which will, as you see, if I didn't make using that mistake. Now they will have to use their a. So I used one, yeah, I'm going to use one in this formation. So now comes decisions, which is, yeah, they are confident that they will just steamroll the Damascus troops. I mean, everyone wants Damascus throughout history, and even in our days and since forever, it stands right in the trade routes, so they know they can just steamroll them, or at least they think they can. So they're going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, and they stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we stop there. And our mounted archers will try to stay somewhere around there. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 6, 2, 3, 4. 5 and 6 will be kind of broken up. He has only a range of 1, but no problem. 1, 2, 3. All right, and we moved our troops. Our command point is spent. Yeah, I'm gonna put it like that, so we know our formations have been moving. There we go. Let's mark them as moved, and then we'll check the Damascenes again. Now Damascus has some options. They can pass, and they say they don't want to activate anything else, and immediately that would pass the rest of the activations to the Assyrians. Now, what they can also do is they can spend the action points to buy event cards. So let's look at the options, what they can do with the AP in these situations, because the way I see it, Damascus forces don't win anything at the moment by moving. All right, they opened up the attack on the right here, but there's a big gap, and until we see what happens here, there's no point in committing the center nor the left. So let's see what options we have to use our action points. All right, there's not many options because we cannot have more events in the hand or stored over the army morale value, and our the army morale is equal to the command points, and we already have 2. Now, could we spend our... Well, we can't. It has to be during melee, so we have to wait until the next phase. We can still use our APs and command something to move, or we could move slightly forward, which we might. Yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna spend that point and move our guys just a bit forward, so we have a range of 2, this formation, and we can go up to the... So just 1 forward. We stay with that medium infantry, so okay, we have another point spent, and we pass it to the Assyrians, which are really, really aggressive, and they are going to move their right to come through. Right? All right, let's see what they can do and how it ends their movement. Yeah, and there we have it. They immediately moved their entire flank up. So Damascus is being pressed on both sides now. Means nothing, really, but we'll see how it goes. It has been the last action point of the Assyrians. Remember, they had the initiative, and there were 2 units that were left behind, that were not in command range. So we have some medium infantry there and some mobile missile. Now we have a last action point for Damascus, which we'll see how it will get spent. Before we advance any further, let me say to you that I made another mistake, but it's easily fixed. Mounted archers and chariots can fire and move, or move and fire. So in this case, Damascus had moved first. They couldn't possibly have shot the Assyrians. But the Assyrians then move into their range, and now they can unleash fire from their chariots, right? And the mounted archers as well. And why? Because I was rereading, and we have some mounted archers here that can also shoot into Damascus. So we'll see how the shooting works from the other side. Okay. The Assyrians must select a leading unit, and who is shooting at who. What will happen is that, let's take the cube out of the way, this chariot unit is going to fire at this one here. We are shooting from the flank, not that it will affect anything, but we are with the general and we can do it. And we will have this one as a support unit. Now our range is 2 and our missile value here is 1. But we have 1 support unit, which also adds 1 to our score. Okay, so we have 1 lead unit with 1 support. Our lead unit is a 1. If it would be a 2, we would draw 2 cards, which in this case it's only a 1 missile value. So, and I think I'm correct, missile attack is 1, so we draw 1 card. And the defense and defender will do the same. We'll draw also 1 card. So we have 1 for each. Okay. We would then see all the cards, the die roll, and select which one we wanted. In this case, we have a 2, and the defender has a 5, right? So in our case, we had the 2 plus 1 per supporting unit, so it would become a 3, even against the 5 does nothing. So we discard them and we mark it. We mark both units with the red. Pretty much the red means that during this time interval they did everything they could. It is important to be checking the... Okay. At the same time, we have the mounted archers that will fire into this cavalry here. The cavalry has a +1 to missile defense. our mounted archers have a 1. So they draw 1 card, while our defense, it draws 1 card, and we'll add the score. So we have a 4 against 4 plus 1 of defense, so nothing happens. There's one detail that I want to check further, which is the color of the die. Each die has a different color and each has a different meaning. I will not apply, for example, this red, which is to check for army fatigue. I have to address that doubt if it applies with every roll I make or not. Because if I would change to rolling dice, it wouldn't mean a thing. And I think it's just the same way of showing the iconography. It becomes a color, so I can immediately see what it means. So we did shoot, so we're going to place a red marker and go to the other side of the field. Okay, we did make a mistake, but there was an attack by the mounted archers into the light infantry. Nothing happened, and the Damascus general spent his last action point and just rotated the light archers. So he now can move to the next phase, which is pretty much the melee combat. And for that, we're going to remove all the yellows, but not the reds. So see you in a bit. All right, we are back, and now the player with the initiative, that is the Assyrians, starts with, we have to take our APs out, starts with selecting which unit attacks what unit. So there will be a lot of combat. All right, so the first unit that will attack is going to be actually this light cavalry. Is going to attack the chariots. Chariots made a big mistake here. So we see our combat value over 3 against the combat value over 2 means we are on the double. So if it would be 2 to 1, we would receive +2. So we are 3 to 2, we receive we are on a factor of +1. All right, we are on a +1. Next thing we see, it's on the table. I like this kind of tables. It's very similar to many miniatures games like DBA and all others, which is kind of a paper rock scissors kind of thing, but in a different. So we have an attacking unit, which is light cavalry, and we are attacking chariots. So we have absolutely no bonus. So we are at only a +1, but we are attacking from the flank. So we are at the +2. All right, being a +2, each side draws a card. Let's take one for the. All right, and now we will check On the melee results, we go to the +2, which is our bonus, or our combat result table result, and we have a +2, means we disrupt this unit, just a basic disruption, and they will have to make a morale check or a rally check with a +1. So on our rally, we want to roll equal or below, but we are rolling at the +1. So we're going to roll, we roll the 5, becomes a 6. So we are disrupted. And if we get another disrupt, even if it's a small one, the small d doesn't matter if you get 2 or 3. If it's always the small one, it's just disruption. The major D means that is very dangerous disruption, and if it gets disrupted again, even if with a small one, it gets eliminated. So he's in a bad spot. But he also fights back. And in this case, he is at the -2. And the result is that he disrupts the enemy, a normal disrupt. He is in a bad disruption spot. So we can note that with some marker. There we go. He is in a very precarious situation of disruption. Can even make it. Oh, we are going to die. All right. And the one with the initiative did it, and now it's the Damascus troops to decide the melee next. Rest to say that the players alternate the way they select what they attack until one chooses not to do so, and then the other can do all the stuff he wants. Now, we have an opportunity here. This unit is disrupted, but he can still attack. Mind you that the bad disruption only disappears after the end of the turn. I am checking event cards, and actually the Damascus troops are going to use one right here. Okay, this chariot unit is going to attack that chariot unit. So we are on a 2 versus a 2 plus a 1 of combat value. So basically we are at a 0. So we are attacking from the front, but he has a red marker. So we gain a +1. And so we are at the +1. Okay, and we are then going to use an event card if it happens. So we are at the +1. So we select one blue card, one red. The red rolls a 2, and we roll. No, it's not the dice rolls. We are at the +1. So let's ignore. What will happen here is that we will use an event, which is we discard it to decrease the unit's melee result by 2. So instead of the +1, we become a +3. So they get disrupted, and they have to make a morale check at 0. So they are at the 6, and the same thing happens. They become as disrupted as this chariot unit here, and they have a leader there. All right. Oh, we actually drew a bad card. It would be this one. No, we are okay. Which? I got lost now. How many cards did I draw? 1, 2. Let me check. As you saw, they failed their morale test. And now they have to draw a card to see if the leader dies. Now, the only thing if it would be a 6, the leader would be slain. It is not, so now they can resolve their own defense card, which in this case they were at -3 because of the event that the Damascus forces played. So at the -3, they force a morale check on the Damascus chariots. They are at the combat value of 2. They drew a 4. They disrupt. Sorry. And then another rally test, which at 0, which is a 2, that we missed, and now we are also dangerously disrupted. Let me find the fabulous marker from Two Fat Lardies, which represents shock. So those units are shocked. Okay, we carry on playing. And now it passes to the Assyrians. And the Assyrians see a good opportunity here. You see, we still have this light cavalry here that we didn't play yet. We already did this one. And then Damascus used this one, and we still have a light cavalry. It was a mistake, because now this light cavalry has a 3. And he can divide. His attack is enough to attack both units, and they are dangerously disrupted. So they're going to attack. They have a +3 against both. Right. They actually have the triple strength, so they are going to attack, and they are light cavalry against chariots. And as we've seen, it's pretty much a 0, but they are 3 to 1, so they have a +3 to each. So it's going to, it's 2 cards. This is a special rule, by the way. It's called double attack, and I like it because they are so weak and so disorganized. This unit has enough strength to just charge home into their disarrayed formation. Okay, we have 2 attacks and 2 defenses. Now the important thing in the double attack is that we cannot resolve the melee results separately and then imagine both are destroyed, or these get destroyed and they couldn't advance. Yeah, we have to resolve both combats. So, oh, sorry for that. So we have this one is to attack that, this one is attacking this one. So we'll see what we can do, and we have to remember that Damascus still has the Ex Machina event card, which is kind of a special one, but we'll see. So light cavalry against that unit. All right, he has a 3-1, and the 3, it's a big D, which would destroy the unit, right? So what the Damascus player will do is play Ex Machina, and this is a special card with a weird event resolution. All right, what happens is this changes the card, a number, or the combat factors, a number equal to the strong unit, which is this one, that has a +3, a number of factors down in the ladder from his combat factor. So he has a +3 and goes down we shift down a number of lines equal to the combat. So a +3 becomes a 0, pretty much. And then both sides draw a die roll. Assyrians draw a 5, and the Damascus draws a 4. And as we see in the Ex Machina, the difference is 1. So if the difference is equal or above the opposition draw, it becomes a D. So it's a 4-5. It's just, instead of, well, they get destroyed anyway, because they get disrupted again. So we're gonna put it here on the side. Okay, let's put it on the top so we know it got destroyed. But we still have to resolve the battle, which is he is disrupted and has to roll with a -1. Yeah, we did shift, and that's the combat result. Sorry, this one is not used. Now, the other combat, we have a +3. So on the +3, we have becomes disrupted, and with a +1, he will get destroyed. There's no need, but he also fights back with in a -3. So on a -3, we have, he gets a normal disruption, already is, no problem, and he makes a morale test at -1 in the die. So 3 becomes a 2. Remember that the result, oh yes, it was already. So he becomes disrupted like that. That unit is destroyed. Okay, so far so good. What happens is these 2 units got destroyed, and army loss, we sum the combat strength of both units destroyed, so it becomes a 4. So in the tracker for losses, we come here and just say that so far the army loss is on 4. All right, this was the Assyrians attacking. Now we will continue with the entire melee phase, and we'll see how it goes. See you in the next segment, because this one is pretty big at the moment. Cheers!